All right, what's up, VC? I'm just gonna keep banging them out here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done these videos, so it's good to get caught up. Jump right in it here. Daryl Hall and John Oates. H2O. I've been on a Daryl Hall and John Oates kick, or well, I was on a kick there for a minute. Holy shit, man. These guys are amazing songwriters. Pretty sure they write most of their stuff, if not all of it. This is on RCA. Very cool labels. I mean, dude, you don't really need to say a whole lot about this album or just Daryl Hall and John Oates. Amazing songwriters. And the production of their albums is freaking mind-blowing. What have I got? Luscious production. It's just so ahead of its time. I remember when I got my first Hall & Oates on vinyl, I played it on my stereo, and it was the first time I'd ever heard any of their music on vinyl, and it was like I was hearing it for the first time. So it is worth it to grab the vinyl stuff, because man, that's what they had back in the day. That's how they were mixing the stuff. A little Atari jackets bubbling up here. Probably look crazy. Yeah. And the songwriting on that album is so amazing. All right. This is Angel. I don't know why I buy these records. I think because it's just super cheesy. And the artwork is just absolutely hilarious. This is 1979. That Hall & Oates actually was, what's that, 82? Oh man, well, it's not going to say. That's a very popular record. I'm sure you can figure that out. Not too hard. Yeah, man, I buy this because the artwork's very cheesy and the music's kind of hilarious. This is 1979. Some of it's kind of good, but this is a, you know, this is just a, you know, I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine. There you go. This album's called Sinful. It's on Casablanca. Yeah, like I said, man, I see this stuff and I get it because it's just entertaining to look at, not so entertaining to listen to. However, what did I say about this? This is somewhat groovy. Dazed and Confused vibes. I guess I'm referring to the movie Dazed and Confused that came out in the 90s that some of us saw. If you haven't seen that, great movie. But it's got plenty of cheese, and a guy in the band is called Punky Meadows. Punky Meadows, like the meadow that a cow would graze on. You got a name like that? I'm giving you props. That's strong. We got Daryl Hall and John Oates, Abandoned Luncheonette on Atlantic. People say that this is their best record. We'll see what my notes say, but in my opinion, I don't think it is. I think this is a little overrated. Hope people don't kill me for saying that, but these are just my opinions, folks. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. I'm not just going to say, oh, it's overrated. I'm going to tell you what I think it sounds like and whatever, and why I might have thought that. Let's see, what did I say? It's dark in spots. It is more musical than the later stuff. I'm pretty sure my favorite album of theirs is probably their first album. It's like got a chrome cover, and they look super effeminate on the cover. But I'm pretty sure that's my favorite one. This is a good album. Don't get me wrong. But I think the hype. I was a little let down. There was so much hype around that album, and I finally obtained it. I was a little bit let down, but apparently not too much. I didn't have anything bad to say about it. It's Hall & Oates, man. It's good stuff. I was born in the mid-'70s, so damn right. Madonna, Like a Virgin. Songwriting, please. This is amazing songwriting. If you don't think so, ask your friends. I don't know. Ask Janet Jackson. Ask anybody from that era. Man, this is a great freaking album. You cannot go wrong with this. Material Girl, Angel, Like a Virgin. What else is on this? Yeah, those are the big ones. But I just, man, I can't get enough of this album. I liked her stuff when it came out. I was really young. I really couldn't appreciate it, but there was a reason she was so successful. The songwriting is great. It's good stuff. All right, we got some Billy Taylor. I got turned on to Billy Taylor by this old dude at a flea market. And man, he steered me in the right direction. This is Billy Taylor on piano, Earl May on bass, Ed Thigpen on drums, and that is his usual setup when it's the trio. Most of the time it is a trio. I didn't tell you any dates on any of that stuff. I apologize. I'm probably not going to get you a date on this either. This is on ABC Paramount. Stereo. Man, Billy Taylor, it's good stuff, dude. It is impressive. Jesus, this thing is incredibly clean. It's hardly been played. It's not because it doesn't sound good, in my opinion. Oh, let's see what kind of notes I got on this Billy Taylor. If you haven't ever gotten into Billy Taylor, it is solid stuff. I highly recommend you try some of his stuff out. You will not be disappointed if you're into early 50s, late 50s, early 60s jazz. This album is the playing is very precise, yet it's playful. It's the magic of Billy Taylor. He does everything well, whether it's ballads or more boppy kind of stuff. It took me 3 listens to digest this album because his playing is so amazing. There's great drums on this album. It gets mellow, but that's okay because he is the king of the ballads. I'm not a big jazz ballad guy, but Billy Taylor playing ballads, man, bring it on. No problem. I'm gonna get you some dates on this stuff. Making a mess here. I thought my last video was gonna be shorter, but it wasn't. Abandoned Luncheonette, 73. And then this Madonna album is obviously, I think this was 82, right? Let's see. 84, my bad. So there you go, there's that. And I wish I could give you a date on this Billy Taylor, but it's probably early 50s. Or I'm sorry, probably late 50s. Billy Taylor, you're missing out if you're not checking out his stuff. Here we go. More Hank Snow. I guess I ran into a lot of it lately, or when I was on this run and buying this stuff that I'm going through here. This is Hank Snow, Country Classics, The Singing Ranger, and his Rainbow Ranch Boys, RCA Victor. usually, yep, it's got a funny song title on here. The Gal Who Invented Kissin', Kissin, with an apostrophe at the end. 1956. I love the front cover. It's a very beautiful scene. Wish I was there. Looks very nice. I don't trust horses though. Got no problem with them. You just got, man, you got to be careful around horses. They'll surprise you. Oh, very clean record. Man, if you just want to feel good, listen to some Hank Snow. If you're down, if you're up, Hank Snow puts you in a good mood. His stuff is, man, it's just quality, and it makes you feel good for some reason. And some of his songs are kind of sad, but he makes light of sad situations, so it's cool. I've been getting into early Kenny Rogers, and the first edition. This is good Lord, I don't know. I'm gonna get this out of here. There we go. This is Kenny Rogers in the first edition. Tell It All Brother. Pretty cool cover there. It's 1970. This is on Reprise. Man. Oh yeah, I got the old cool labels. Got somebody's address on there. Department of Anesthesia, General Hospital, Cincinnati, Ohio. Carol Ann Collins. Thanks, Carol Ann, for letting me purchase your old Kenny Rogers record. Yeah, first edition they're kind of psychedelic and kind of rocking. A little all over the place. Interesting stuff, though. I've got it written down here as 1970 typical hippie stuff. So do with that description what you will. All right. Steve Earle and the Dukes. It's 1987. This is on MCA. Exit Zero, I believe, is the title of this album. Man, what can I say about Steve Earle? I've been a fan of his since I heard Copperhead Road when I was growing up. I'd never heard any of his music before. And I'm gonna tell you what, that dude's magical. I never got to see him until many, many years later. And when I did, it was cathartic. Words can't describe that show. I got to see him in Charlotte at Neighborhood Theater, and I was on a high for a couple of days after seeing that show. I was in another world. Look, Steve Earle created his own genre. Even this far back, his stuff is so musical. The songwriting and just the way he plays the instruments and the way he arranges stuff, it's magical. I don't know what else to say. I'm a huge Steve Earle fan. He is way underrated, in my opinion. The transitions and key changes, the multitude of different parts in the songs that he writes is... I write music myself. It's mind-blowing. The way he arranges his music and does the transitions and goes from song to... or from mood to mood, if you will. Or really not mood, just his transitions are seamless. And they're brilliant. I mean, it's so fun to listen to this stuff. But he keeps a country standard style going on all at the same time, which is a style that he created. It's country, rock, whatever you want to call it. All of his songs are about living, so it's easy to relate to them. I'm not someone who usually listens to lyrics, but man, you can't help but listen to his lyrics because they are so relatable. Like I said, he is a magical songwriter. The way he writes his music, puts the words to it, you can't help but listen to and relate to whatever he's talking about. Yeah, I already talked about the show. Just better than expected, life-changing, cathartic. He never came to North Carolina that I knew of, except that one time. I'm just really glad I got to see him. All right, man. We got King Crimson in the court of the Crimson King. Oh, what year is this? 1969. It's kind of getting a. This is a hard record to find. Apparently, I think I had a copy and I found this one, so I picked it up. The artwork is just really cool. I mean, it's probably one of the cooler albums as far as artwork goes. This is a little singy. There's a lot of singing going on in this. It's a little too magical for me. It has a little bit of eeriness to it, but some of it sounds a little contrived, like they're trying a little too hard. I know some people are probably going to destroy me talking about King Crimson this way, but this is just my opinions, folks. Like to steer people in directions if I can or whatever, but it's a little magical for my taste. But if you're into that kind of stuff, man, go for it. Hank Snow, songs I hadn't recorded till now. Big country hits. No funny song titles on this one. 1961. Yep. Produced by Chet Atkins. Check that out. That's interesting. RCA Victor. Oh, he's a interesting haircut he's got going on there. Original sleeve there. Somebody put their label on this thing, unfortunately, but man, I buy this stuff for the music. I don't buy it to look at it. Super clean. Once again, Hank Snow, can't go wrong. Got so much of it. Jeez, you guys probably getting tired of me talking about Hank Snow. All right, well, speaking of Chet Atkins, we got Hi-Fi in Focus by Chet Atkins. Digging this cover. It's RCA Victor as well. There's a song called Portuguese Washer Woman. Whatever the hell that means. 1957. Probably just your standard RCA Victor labels. Yep. Same as the Hank Snow I just showed you. Same type of label. And what do we got to say about old Chet Atkins here? Hey, a very unique and original guitar player. You know, he did a lot of different styles, but some of it's great, some of it's okay, some of it's really, really good. This is upbeat and happy. Standard songs that we've all heard. So I guess he's, playing some. It does get jazzy at times, which it's hard to get some jazzy sounding Chet Atkins. And it has a clean quality feel to it. Like a very clean recording. I mean, Chet Atkins was a very good. I don't know if he engineered his own stuff, but I've always been impressed with how good his records sound. I think he kind of pioneered some stuff back in the day with making stuff sound good. All right. Tight. Got Soundtrack by Charles Lloyd. I got turned on to him somehow. So I'll pick up some Charles Lloyd if I see it. It's a gatefold, Atlantic stereo. Oh, let's see. Who we got on here? Charles Lloyd, tenor sax or flute. Keith Jarrett, piano. Ron McClure, bass. Jack DeJohnette, drums. Well, damn, that's most of Keith Jarrett's band right there, except for can't remember who played bass with Keith Jarrett. It might have been Ron McClure. Anyway, what do we got here? Oh yeah. Got the old standard Atlantic labels from the era. And what did I think this sounded like? Charles Boyd is, you know, kind of ethereal kind of sounding stuff. I think he flirts with free jazz a little bit, but he keeps it contained so you can follow it. What did I say about this? Very Keith Jarrett-esque, which, you know, Keith Jarrett, same way. He flirts with free jazz, but he keeps it contained. There's a beat in the background somewhere where they don't go off the rails. Jarrett-esque, but more even more contained than the Keith Jarrett. It's pretty music, and it's kind of light. So there you go, knocking them out. All right, thanks guys. We'll see you next one.